Are focused in 8 conservation hubs all across the world. These are geographic regions where we think we can make the greatest impact. Those hubs are Pacific Islands, Southwest, Amazonia, Oceans, African Forest, Savannah, Asia, and the Australian Forest, because we believe that conservation starts with the connection that we make with people and wildlife every single day, and that's exactly what we hope to do. You all ready to meet some wildlife? Fabulous. What a lovely little Wednesday group. All right, we are going to start with our One Health approach to saving species worldwide, because people and the environment and wildlife are all interconnected. Wildlife can only thrive when all life thrives. That's the core of our mission and the thread that runs through all of our conservation efforts. And no species better represents this than the canine. Canines have been helping people throughout time, whether it be serving in the military, maybe being part of the police force, or helping in our conservation efforts worldwide. They do this by using their superpower, which is their super sniffer. Canines have a sense of smell that is 10 to 100,000 times better than our own. To help demonstrate this, we have hidden a scented item somewhere out here for our super sniffer to find. Now he is ready to razzle dazzle you, so please make some noise for Elvis!
Elvis!
There he is. He is using that awesome nose of his to find a scented item. We change the location every single day. I don't even know where it is today. And we'll see how fast he can find it. Oh, he's on it today. He's ready. And he found it. He found his stuffed koala, which is a great representation as to some of the canines that we have in our conservation fields. We have canines in our Australian Outback Conservation Field that were very helpful during the devastating fires in 2019 and 2020. These canines were able to go out there and sniff out any koalas who might need our help. We also have canines right here in our own backyard, the Southwest Conservation Hub. Now those dogs are able to go out and sniff out frogs. They were very helpful during a starting phase of the project to help the endangered mountain yellow-legged frog. And we also have canines in our African Savannah Conservation Hub that are able to sniff out scat, which is a fancy word for poop. So these poop sniffing dogs are able to find certain species so that we can help those animals. Now we also have canines in the African Savannah who can help find poachers so that we can protect the many wildlife species that we're working with there. Now Elvis may not be out in the field, but he has a very important job here at Wegeforth Bowl. He is paired with one of the wildlife species that we work with in the African Savannah, where we are going next. In the African Savannah, the San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance and our allies work with a cornucopia of different species, like the rhino, the giraffe, the elephant, and his partner in crime, the South African cheetah. Now, this is the world's fastest land mammal, if she chooses to come out. And Elvis and her have been paired together pretty much their entire lives.
Spend more time there
now,
than
Elvis
here.
was in a program for Guide Dogs of America, where we don't like to say that he failed the program, but he failed the program. And Ilangha here, there she is our 9-year-old South African cheetah, and she was born at our sister facility, the San Diego Zoo Safari Park, where she was cub number 159. Now she's the only surviving member of her litter, so in order for her to get social cues and social interactions that she would get from having litter mates, we decided to pair her with a dog. Now, not every single cheetah needs one. We do it by behavior based, and this was the perfect pair here. Now, Ilangha does represent the world's fastest land mammal, where cheetahs can go from speeds of 0 to 60 in 3.4 seconds. And very impressively, they can go upward of 70 miles per hour. That's amazing. If you drove here on the freeway today, imagine looking out your car window and seeing a cheetah right next to you. Pretty awesome. Now they can't hold those speeds for very long, maybe about 30 seconds or a quarter of a mile. And then they would definitely need to take a nice long break. Now they have adaptations from nose to tail that help give them the title of world's fastest land mammal. As you can see, as she's taking a seat right here, you are able to see her nails, which are very different than any other nail on a feline species. They are semi-retractable nails. So they do not retract all the way into the sheath like that of other cat species to keep them nice and sharp. These nails are kind of always sticking out. They look a lot like Elvis's paws, but that is great because it helps them to get traction in the ground so that they can run at those top speeds. Now she also has a smaller head than other cats that her size. It's pretty aerodynamic in nature, kind of bullet shaped, where they're able to pin those whiskers back and pin those ears back also. Now probably my favorite adaptation on the cheetah is their tail. A male cheetah can have a stride upwards of 22 feet. So they are literally flying through the Serengeti at those top speeds. So in order to help them change direction while they do have those giant strides, their tail comes in handy. It's actually flattened at the tip, kind of like a hockey stick, so they're able to flick it back and forth, mid-air, mid-run to change direction, kind of like a rudder on a boat. Now she's also covered in those famous spots that cheetahs are known for, and that is pretty great camouflage out in the African savanna, where she blends in perfectly with the dry grasses, and her prey items see very similar colors as herself. She also has those 2 black stripes on her face. Those are famous cheetah stripes. Only cheetahs have those on their face. They're called her malar stripes. We like to call them her Serengeti sunglasses. It helps to reflect the sun in the middle of the daytime. And that is when cheetahs choose to hunt. They are diurnal hunters or daytime hunters. So those black stripes help with that. You might be able to see her protruding brow as well. It's kind of like a built-in visor, all helping with that daytime hunting. They're going to be hunting at different times of other predators like the lion or a hyena or even giant birds. That's why they are the daytime hunters. They are built for one thing and one thing only, and that is speed. They're not necessarily going to be a fighter like the lion, who has those sharp claws, that big head with all that jaw power. Well, she did absolutely amazing out here. That was Ilangha, our 9-year-old cheetah, and her partner in crime, Elvis. Now to help introduce the next couple of wildlife ambassadors, I'm gonna hand things on over to Tony.
And hi everyone, how are we doing? Are we enjoying our presentation so far?
Yeah!
Alright, well I am very excited to introduce you to our next couple ambassadors. And our next one is going to be representing our Southwest Conservation Hub, which happens to be right here in our own backyard. Now some of the wildlife we are working with to save and protect include the desert tortoise, western burrowing owl, and the endangered mountain yellow-legged frog. Plus different plant life like the sage oak and our beloved Torrey pine. Now this next ambassador is one I might guess you might have even seen in your own backyards if you are from North America. Please welcome out Banjo the raccoon.
Ooh.
Now has anybody seen a raccoon in their own backyard? Yeah, they are very prevalent in North America. They are all over, but they also can be found as far south down into Central and South America. Now Banjo here is about 5 years old. He is a full-grown male raccoon, and he came to live with us from Project Wildlife, which is a local wildlife rehabilitation center that we work with right here in San Diego. Now it is likely that he was somebody's pet because they tried several different times to reintroduce him back out into his native habitat, but he just kept coming back. So likely probably somebody thought they were doing a good deed in taking care of him, but at that point he's imprinted on people and sees people as a food source, which is not a good thing. So we got asked if we would like to have Banjo come live with us here at Wegeforth Bowl, and of course we wanted to have him here. Now raccoons are very interesting mammals. They are closely related to the bear and the weasel. They are able to walk on all 4 of their feet, and they walk with their heel and toes down, similar to people. They also can stand up on their 2 hind legs to reach up into different high spaces, and they are excellent climbers. They have very sharp claws that help them climb different spaces.
He spends more time there than here.
Showing off some of those climbing skills right now. Banjo here weighs about 20 pounds. He is in his winter raccoon weight, so he is a little bit heavier, a little bit slower, as some wildlife tend to slow down in the colder months to conserve their energy. So sometimes he wants to climb up and other times he does not. Now, raccoons are true omnivores and they will eat just about anything. They are very opportunistic, meaning, there he goes, nicely done. And it's very cute because he shimmies down. Good job, Banjo. And they're very opportunistic in what they will find. So if anything is edible, they will eat it. So it could be nuts, berries, seeds. It could be other wildlife, small rodents, mammals. Even if they live close to bodies of water, they will eat different crawfish, fish, different things like that. So it is very interesting. They will eat whatever they can find. Now, people, one of the main things they think of when they think of raccoons is that they wash their food. Has anybody heard that raccoons wash their food? Yeah, that is not entirely accurate. So what they are doing is they have very sensitive paws. Their paws are about 4 to 5 times more sensitive than any other mammal. And when they bring something to the water, it actually enhances their feelings in their hands. It's almost as if they are seeing with their paws. So researchers found out that they will do this behavior of manipulating objects even when water isn't present. So they decided that water doesn't exactly help them wash their food, but more enhance whatever they are touching so that they know if something is edible or not. It's very, very interesting. Now, raccoons are pretty popular right now. A lot of people see them as pets, but it is illegal to have a raccoon as a pet in about 34 states, and rightfully so. They can be very challenging to take care of. They are extremely intelligent, and we have seen this with Banjo, and they can get into a lot of different mischief. So with Banjo, we like to keep him mentally stimulated, lots of exercise. We will give him different enrichment objects in his habitat. One of his favorite things is to tear up a stuffed bear or a big fluffy blanket. We like to say it looks like Armageddon in his habitat when he does that, but can be very challenging to take care of a raccoon if they lived in your home. And with that, it looks like he's gonna head on back. We can give it up for Banjo. He did a great job out here. All right, so we are gonna head on over to our Amazonia Conservation Hub, where we are working to conserve wildlife like the jaguar, Andean bear, New World monkey, and plant life like the orchid, along with the habitats they all share. And this next wildlife ambassador definitely needs those trees of the Amazon to survive. And not only that, they are considered to be one of the slowest mammals in the entire world. Now, if you haven't guessed yet, I'm starting to slow down my words, and it's very appropriate because you all are about to meet our Linnaeus two-toed sloth. Now, does anybody here like sloths? Yeah, they are awesome. They are a very unique type of wildlife. And Tornero was actually born right here at the San Diego Zoo. So his mom lives next door at Wildlife Explorers Base Camp, and he was born right here about 5 years ago. Now, he's very special because his mom was also a wildlife ambassador, so she is very comfortable with her wildlife care specialist.
Shot us on the hill.
Coming out and interacting with different guests. So from a very young age, we were able to go over there and build a relationship with Tornero. So by the time he was fully independent from mom, which is pretty quick, usually about 6 months of age, he was ready to leave mom and come over here to live on his own. We already had our relationship established with him, and he was ready to go. So it was a very cool and unique process. Now, Linnaeus two-toed sloths are named for their front toes. So they do have 2 toes in their front legs, but there is a 3-toed sloth. So they have 3 in the front, but both have 3 in the back. So hopefully that is not too confusing. Now, sloths can be described as, of course, slow moving, but upside down. They live their entire lives upside down. Now, what is upside down to us is, of course, right side up to a sloth, but they do everything from this upside down position. So they're going to eat, they're going to even give birth upside down, and they also have those very strong claws. So what's interesting about their claws is that they are hooked in place, and they actually have to think to release them and to let go. So hopefully if he gets moving on these ropes here, you can see how he maneuvers through. Usually those back claws are going to meet their front claws, and that is how they know whatever object or branch is secure, and they're gonna keep moving that way. And what is interesting is that researchers have actually found sloths that have passed away in their native habitat, and they're still hooked on. So still hanging on. So it just goes to show how innate that claw experience is. Now, it looks like he might be, oh, we did kind of fix this rope earlier, so he might be smelling that, but he may just kind of hang on out here. Now, the reason why sloths are so slow moving is because of what they eat. So they're only going to be eating stems, leaves, and buds, vegetation that doesn't have a lot of nutritional energy in it. So they need to conserve that energy. They are adapted to be slow moving because of what they eat. Now, along with that, they are going to sleep about 18 hours in a day. So they sleep most of the day, and they only use the bathroom about once a week, if that. And when they use the bathroom, they will shimmy on down from the trees and then shimmy right back up when they are done. Now, those trees are going to be where they spend a majority of their time, because that is where they are safest. They do not have a ton of defenses against predators. Some of the predators that are going to be going after sloths are ocelots and the harpy eagle. Has anybody seen a harpy eagle before? We actually have some at the zoo here. They are a big, big, massive bird. So to avoid these predators, they're going to try to blend in with those trees. Now, their fur is very unique as well. The fur grows from the inner corners of their belly and it grows down towards their back. That is going to help with any kind of moisture. It's going to run down off their backs, but because there is a lot of moisture, algae actually grows on the backs of sloths, and that helps them blend in with their environment. Now, if they were to encounter a predator, their first line of defense is going to be to swipe at the predator with those big claws. If that doesn't work, they do have some pretty sharp teeth. They have 4 canines that are very long and very sharp. So I would not want to get bit by a sloth, that is for sure. Now, if you are interested in helping out sloths, you can actually look for a certain logo. It's called the FSC logo. We're probably gonna pop it up on the screen here. Those are on different wood and paper products. I know I see them all the time if I'm purchasing something. You can know that those products were harvested in a way that protects wildlife and protects those trees. So that is just one way we can help out our Amazonia friends. And with that, he might just hang on out for our presentation, which is totally fine. We love him here at Wegeforth Bowl. Let's give it up for Tornero, our Linnaeus two-toed sloth. All right, so you might have seen our next wildlife ambassador. She is going to be representing our One Health approach to saving species all around the world, similar to our canine. And they do this by being a keystone species. Now, this, of course, is a North American beaver, and her name is, are you ready for it? Justine Beaver. Yeah, do we get that? Maybe some people get that. Now, we can't credit naming her. She was born at the Minnesota Zoo, where they named her over there, and she came to live with us when she was about 1 year old, and today she's about 14 years old. So she has been living with us here for a long, long time. Now, North American beavers are the largest rodent species in North America. Does anybody know the first largest rodent species in the world? And you can shout it out. Capybara. Capybara. Okay, I have another question. Does anyone know the second largest species in North America after the beaver? North American porcupine. Yeah, good job. That's awesome. Usually everybody knows the capybara, which is great. They are awesome, but I love that you know that. Very nicely done. So rodents are very unique. They have ever-growing teeth, meaning their teeth are going to grow throughout their entire lives. So they need to chew on different objects to actually keep their teeth from overgrowing. Along with that, they do have an orange enamel on their teeth, so their teeth actually look orange. You might be able to tell in some of these videos, but that orange is going to be due to an iron coating to keep their teeth nice and strong when they are chewing on different objects. Now, being a keystone species, beavers are vital for their ecosystems. Now, they're probably most known for building dams. By building dams, they're able to change waterways and actually create new habitats for animals. But they actually do not live in those dams. They build a separate structure called a lodge. Now, those lodges are very intricate. They have multiple rooms. One room will be where they store their food for the winter. Another room will be where they sleep. They have multiple entrances. It is very cool and unique. Now, beavers, as I mentioned, they are vital for their ecosystems by building dams, but they were almost hunted to extinction not that long ago. They were hunted for their fur. Now, that fur is very unique for them as it helps them as they are an aquatic type of rodent. So you see she is swimming in our moat here. Beavers are built for life in the water as well as land, so their fur coat is going to help them like a wetsuit, keeps them nice and warm and insulated. They also have the ability to close the openings of their nose and ears to prevent water from getting inside. And they also have a double eyelid, which helps them see underwater, similar to light goggles. And of course, their back feet are webbed, so that helps them propel through the water much easier. Now, another notable feature of the beaver is that long, thick tail. That tail is going to be used for a multitude of things. So when they are walking on land or sitting upright, carrying different branches or objects, that tail will help them prop up. And then when they are swimming in the water, they actually can slap their tails in the water to warn other beavers of threats. Now, other animals in the area have actually picked up on that sound, and they can also be aware of a threat just by hearing what the beaver does. So it is very, very cool. And with that, I think our two wildlife ambassadors are just gonna hang on out. But we can give it up for Justine Beaver. She's just gonna swim in our boat here and enjoy her time. Very cute. All right, well, here at the San Diego Zoo, we are creating a world where all life thrives, and never has this been more important. As first responders in the field, we are there, applying a century of firsthand knowledge to global conservation challenges. We collaborate, innovate, and we hope to inspire to help people and wildlife thrive together for a better tomorrow. Now, conservation is at the heart of everything we do, but we can't do it alone. We need dedicated allies like all of you. So you can join us here at the San Diego Zoo by becoming a member. You can volunteer your time or your knowledge, or you can even partner with us with some of our bigger conservation projects. Your help can never be understated, because when wildlife thrives, all life thrives. Thank you all so much for coming out and enjoying us here at Wegeforth Bowl. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Hello, how are you two?
Doing well.
Good to hear. Enjoying the sun?
Of course.
Well, right now, the shade, of course.
The shade is better. Warm
I
day.
did not think he was going to wake up.
Took him a moment.
David, I was laughing because David he screwed a new hole in that branching to put the rope on tighter, and he was like mouthing the end of the new screw, 'cause he's like, there's something new here. And then
Oh, that's what he was doing.
on the rope, and I thought it was so cute. I don't know, he was